Today, I'm going to be taking you on a simple trick on how to identify property fraud. Property fraud is becoming more sophisticated, and the best way you can stay safe is by just paying attention to what the seller is doing around you when they want to scam you. Paying attention to the tone, the behavior, and the urgency pattern of the seller. This would have the intention of scamming you. So there are two things that are major ingredients in every fraud case that you will find around you, whether it's money scam, whether it's property scam, and all of that. These two things I want to share with you, it's evident in all. And first of it is what? Urgency, which deals with what? Time pressure. Then the second of it is cheap pricing. This cheap pricing triggers the greed in you. So scammers understands this human psychology, and they tend to use it all of the time. So if you see these two things, then you know what you're up for. Urgency creates the fear of missing out. So cheap pricing appeals to your greed, even if you don't realize it. So put these two things together, put these two formations together, it just gets you trapped, right? It becomes a perfect trap that holds you down, and if you don't realize it, you're scammed. If you reflect on every scam story around you, or someone told you that happened, or you read in the news, you understand that these two ingredients evident in every scam story you hear. Now, but people confuse this with distress sale. I'm going to just break it down for you to understand what a distress sale is and how they interpret it. Understanding distress sales. People often use the phrase distress sale. This simply means that the seller is not selling from a place of comfort. That means the seller is under pressure to solve one issue that is higher than what he or she is selling. So a distress seller usually has a bigger challenge to solve. It can be a medical emergency, it can be family crisis, it can be business collapse, it can be urgent death, or any situation whose value is bigger than the property being sold. Because of this, the seller places a lower price on a high value property to raise money quickly. So you see, the intention is to raise money quickly. But here is the challenge. How do you separate a genuine distressed seller from a scammer, since both behave similarly? Now let me break it down. I will outline to you what to do. First of all, in this situation, the basic thing you should just do is first, you insist on meeting the owner, not just the agent. There's a reason why you must first meet the owner, because when they come with the story, my brother or my friend, all right, a genuine owner is always available for conversation. So you hear the story, I'm the one in charge. Scammers often hide behind this agent stuff. So you must insist to see the real owner of the property. 2, listen carefully to the seller's tone. You see, there's something about tone that reveals someone's intention, that reveals a scammer's intention. A genuine distress seller usually sounds this way. Please pay attention. A genuine distress seller sounds passive, sober, sometimes emotional, or pleading. Now, why is this so? This is so because the problem they are trying to solve is heavy, sometimes even life-threatening. When they compare the value of their property with the low price they are releasing the property for, it weakens them. Their negotiation confidence is being played on. So they don't even have more power to argue on this. This may really not be the case all the time, but a genuine distress seller may defend their pride, but they rarely hold the sale hostage. If the money needed is large, they often list multiple assets for sale, not just one. You know why? They want to really raise this money very fast so they can downplay the price and list many assets. So this is where scammers fail. A scammer tries to act distressed, but they cannot hide their mindset. pay attention to this. They often mention sickness, travel, which is the normal japa plan, you want to japa and all of that. They tell you they have a relative that is kidnapped, ransom needs to pay, or any other emotional story. But their tone is what? Different. Scammers behave authoritatively, not humbly. Have you ever met an agent telling you, if you don't buy this now, Oga, you don't ready, Oga, another person, they can't take this property. The pressure they put on you is repeatedly noticed. They remind you of how cheap the property is. They focus on the opportunity you will miss. Hope you're getting this point. They focus on the opportunity you miss if you miss buying the product or the property or taking that opportunity. But here is the difference. Let me show you. A genuine seller explains why they are selling, but a scammer explains why you must hurry and buy cheap. So they keep hitting on it, how cheap the product is, how cheap the property is. A genuine seller mixes urgency plus reason for selling. A scammer mixes urgency plus cheap price. And that combination doesn't align at all. So a genuine seller pleads that I want to sell this and I need this money quick because my child is dying. But a scammer keeps reminding you of how cheap it is, how you will lose it if you delay, how someone else will grab it. All of this put together. So when you see these things begin to combine together, the urgency and how cheap, they give you all shades of how cheap it is. While the genuine seller keeps referring you to why they need to sell, the reason why they are selling. This keeps reoccurring. The challenge they are trying to solve, why they need the money urgently, not to force you, but to help you understand their situation. This is how to know a genuine seller. Why you have to buy from them is for you to understand the situation they are in, not to force you, not threatening you. So the final thought is this: when urgency and cheap pricing are combined without a clear consent, believable reason, you are likely dealing with a scam. But when urgency and price are tied strongly to the seller's real life challenge and tone, you are likely dealing with a genuine distressed seller. Always verify the documents, meet the owner, listen to their tone, and never allow cheap pricing to blind your judgment. Now, if you know this, you will know how to buy right. Buying right means what? Buying the documents. Verify the documents. Don't ever downplay this. Verification of document is much more important. It is this document that gives you the right and control over any property. Hope this makes sense. Follow me. Social media platforms. I'll see you in the next episode.